everyone, I'm starting a new vlog. Today is November the 18th. It is the start of Buzzwordathon. I want to go ahead and talk about the books that I'm reading today. So the first one is I am now officially reading 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I am 45% of the way through it, and I did not realize what this book was about. I went in completely blind, like I've been told it's best to do. But I didn't realize that this book was about that. And I don't want to give anything away because I don't want to ruin the book for others. But I will say it is heartbreaking. It is tragic. I'm like 99% sure that this is not going to end in a happily ever after. So I have also started to read Marriage for One by Ella Mays. I am listening to that on audiobook. I know I did not add that to my TBR, but oh, I forgot who brought it up. Was it Shelby or Melissa maybe? I think it was Melissa. Anyway, I'm so sorry, I can't remember. Somebody brought it up. It was like a light bulb went off. I wanted to read that book as well. So I found that it was on Audible Escapes, and I recently signed up for Audible Escapes for a 1-month free trial. I've already read like 5 or 6 audiobooks on it just in this last week. As you saw on my previous vlog at the end, I read 11 books in 7 days, which is an all-time record for me. I'm proud of myself, but oh my gosh, that was a lot of reading. I did not work that week. 11 books, 7 days. I'm very proud of myself and of that accomplishment. I have now read 120, I believe it's 24 books, 124 or 126. No, 126 books this year. And that actually is not really accurate because I did not read from January through the end of March. I started reading April 1st, and there's a serious reason for why I did not read for those first couple of months. It's a heartbreaking reason, and I'm going to talk about that in a later, it's going to be a separate video. I'm going to explain what I went through this year, why I chose to truly do BookTube other than just the Book Bonanza thing. That was just kind of an excuse to start immediately, but there's a higher up reason why I really wanted to do BookTube, and it's a heartbreaking reason, but it's also heartwarming, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about that soon. But anyway, so yeah, I'm reading those 2 books now. I'm enjoying both of them so far. One of them has made me bawl my eyes out at least 3 times already. And the other one is really good. It's interesting. It's definitely it's a marriage of convenience, and Marriage for One is, and it's different. I will give it that. It's different. I've heard it's a slow burn, and it's kind of like a long story, and I'm in for it. I'm in for that whole ride. I cannot wait to read this book, but I am working this week, so I've only got like an hour before I have to go to work, so I'm going to try to read a little bit more of 1,000 Boy Kisses. I want to try to finish that one either later on tonight or tomorrow. So anyway, that is what is going on with me. I hope you're having a great week and enjoying the Buzzwordathon. I know I am so far. I will update y'all soon. Hey everyone. Okay, so it's been a couple of days. Today is Thursday, November 21st, and I finished Marriage for One by Ella Mays, and I am 3/4 of the way through 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I will say that this is not a 5-star read for me. I didn't realize what the story was about. I went in completely blind, and I didn't realize that what the story was about was what the story was about. I don't want to give too much away. I guess I'll say spoilers here for just a minute, and if you don't want to listen to it, just wait until I start lifting up books, and then, you fast forward to that. Okay, so with 1,000 Boy Kisses, the whole plot of this book is the main girl is dying with cancer, and she has been in love with the same guy since she was like 5 years old. They're now 17. He had to move away because he is from Norway, and his family moved whenever he was 5, so he moved to America and grew up here until he was 15. Then his parents made him move back home for a couple of years. Now it's been 2 years. She cut off contact with him, and the whole reason why is because she found out she has cancer, and she didn't want him to have to deal with that being an entire ocean away from her. So now he knows, and I guess they're gonna just make the most out of their time left. But it's really cute, and I'm enjoying the story, and I'm gonna finish it. But I also feel like this book was like, since The Fault in Our Stars, and then 5 Feet Apart, and Midnight Sun. I mean, there's a million movies with this trope. There's a million books with this trope. And I feel like this was like literally like a made-for-TV type book. It has every single cliche trope in here, like the main girl plays the cello or something, and the main guy is in love with photography, and there's very beautiful prose and written. It's very flowery words, and it's not very realistic for what 17-year-olds would say. I like it. I don't love it, but I'm going to finish it. Okay, moving on. So I got several books in from Thrift Books. I'm still waiting on my bookworm box. I've got like 15 or more books coming for that, and I'll do a separate video completely. But I wanted to go ahead and show the few books that I got from Thrift Books. So as I said, V. Keelan is becoming one of my very favorite authors, and so I'm literally buying any book I possibly can of hers. And so I found Throb by V. Keelan, and I can't wait to get into this one. The next book I got is The Baller, and I mean, that cover is just, that cover's hot, but it doesn't, I mean, there's no hotter cover than this. I've been wanting this one for a long time because seriously, look at that cover. Damn. Okay. I follow Bree from In Love and Words, and she has been talking about a certain author, and I found these books really cheap on Thrift Books. I know this isn't the series that she's been bringing up, but she has been talking about Lauren Rowe for a while now, and so I found The Redemption by Lauren Rowe and The Reclamation, and both of these books are like $5 a piece, so I went ahead and picked those up. But I can't wait to read Lauren Rowe's writing because Bree and I have very similar taste in books, so I cannot wait to read a new to me author. So anyway, those were the 5 books that I picked up from Thrift Books, and I know this is the Buzzwordathon, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of went off course like I always do. I will have finished at least those 2, 1,000 Boy Kisses and Marriage for One. So I'll have finished at least 2 books for the Buzzwordathon. But I kind of started in on Cheeky Royal is the name, and it's by Nana Malone. This book I've been wanting to read. She's an author that's going to be at Book Bonanza, and this is such a cute little story. It's a little crazy, and of course it's, you know, dealing with like the royal family, but it's a different branch. It's not like the typical like British royal family. It's in a different, like an island, whatever. Anyway, it is super cute, and I love reading about this kind of cheesy stuff, especially around Christmas time. Like any kind of royal, even if it's not necessarily related to winter, like I always relate royal stories like this to winter time, because all of the royal movies come out on Hallmark, and I am a sucker for the cheese on Hallmark. Come on, let's just be honest. So I'm totally into this story right now, like totally into this cheeky royal book. And so I'm like 50% of the way through that. And then I started listening to another audiobook, and this one is a paranormal romance, and it's called Cade's Embrace by Kim Grosso, I believe is her name. But anyway, I am like 35 or 40% of the way through that one. So I'm reading at least 3 books, all of which I'm like literally in the middle of every single one of them. And 2 of which are not part of the Buzzwordathon, which I'm supposed to be only reading books like that this week. So I'm kind of screwing up this vlog. Sorry. That is what is going on right now. I've got to be at work here in like 3 hours, so I'm going to try to read as much as I can before I have to go to work. It went from like being in the 70s yesterday and feeling really nice to being in like the 30s and raining, and Oklahoma cannot make its mind up. It is PMSing outside. That's what it feels like. I mean, it is just like we can't decide if we want to be summer or winter right now, and it is driving me crazy, and it's messing with me, and my allergies are crazy. And I'm going to get off here. I will talk to you all later on. Hey everyone, so I've done a pretty shit job at this vlog this week. It is now Sunday, so I have like not updated you guys at all because I haven't really read just a whole bunch. I have finished 3 books so far this week. The first book that I finished was A Marriage for One by Ella Mays. I gave it 4 stars. It was cute. It was a slow burn, marriage for convenience romance. I'll say I'm not like the hugest fan of marriage of convenience. It's just not my favorite trope. I enjoy it, but I don't know of any marriage of convenience romance that's going to give me like all the feels and be a 5-star read. This was a 4-star read. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my very favorite, but I really enjoyed it. I liked Ella Mays' writing, I will say that. The next book I finished, like I just completely went off the Buzzwordathon, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still reading 1,000 Boy Kisses. I will say that I am like less than 50 pages to the end of it. So I am almost done. It will be read today. And I'm really not liking it. I mean, I'm liking it, but I'm not loving it. I'm giving it 3 stars. Unless something like super changes in the last 50 pages, which it might, who knows. So I did finish reading Nana Malone's Cheeky Royal. It is a really cute story. It is, it kind of gives me Christmas vibes. It is about a girl in the royal guard, and she, the king comes to her and asks her to protect his only son. And so she goes undercover and is protecting him because he basically ran away from home, found out something that about his father he didn't necessarily want to hear, and so he ran away from home, is in the search of finding somebody. But it is their love story. This book does end in a cliffhanger. I know that the second book is like the finale. It's a duet. There's more books in this series, but the first and second book are about the same couple. I want to pick up the second book. It was super interesting. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The next book I finished was Cade's Dark Embrace by Kim Grosso. I gave this 3 stars. I did not enjoy it. It is a vampire romance, so I thought I'd love it. I did try to read this book previously, like last year or so, and I only read like 20% of it and DNF'd it, but I thought I'd give it another try because I know Teresa Gableman really likes Kim Grosso, and they're supposed to be coming out with a TV series about Teresa Gableman and Kim Grosso's books put together, so that's gonna be really cool if it happens. But I figured I'd give it another shot, and I listened to it on audiobook. It was okay. I'm going to try the second book. I'm hoping that it will get better as the series goes on. I will say I wasn't a fan of some of the writing and some of like the technical terms that they used. Instead of like calling it a clit, they called it like a clitoris, and you know, like it made it seem a little no, I don't know. I wasn't crazy about some of the writings. It was just a little flowery and technical and not very sexy in certain areas. And you know, for me, vampires, they need to be sexy. Like, you know, they're hundreds of years old. They've had time to develop their skills in bed and not call it a clitoris. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on that one. I am going to finish 1,000 Boy Kisses today, and I've got a huge work schedule set ahead of me next week, so who knows how much I'm going to be able to read. It has been a very rough week for me this week. Getting into the holidays is a super rough time for me right now. So I'm going to try my hardest to read as much as I can, but I also need to be there for my mom. This has been one of the hardest years I've ever had in my life, and I'll talk about that more upcoming. But yeah, so I'm going to try to read as much as I can, but we'll see how much I get done before the end of the year. Good thing is I have already finished my Goodreads challenge this year. I've read like 127 books so far this year, which is really good. But anyway, that's it. Hello, everyone. So I decided just last minute that I was going to rearrange my bookshelves. I'm going to put them in order, alphabetical order, with the author's last name. And so this is what my room currently looks like. Hey everyone, okay, so it's not perfect, but this is my new bookshelves for now. Like I said, they are in alphabetical order according to the author's last name, or at least to the best of my ability they are. Okay, and then, sorry for the little bit of the messy room. These are the books I have decided to get rid of. And then my new bookshelf. I even made an extra shelf for myself. Okay, so it is technically Monday, so I need to hurry up and get this over with so I can get this up. I am currently at work right now, and we are like in a slow time, so I'm able to go ahead and do this real quickly. I finished 1,000 Boy Kisses last night, and it was as sad as I thought it would be. It was as heartbreaking. I cried. I knew I would, and I still gave it 3 stars. I'm just over this trope. I'm over it. It was very well written. Don't get me wrong. The story was very well written. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. And I thought that the wording and the way that the two characters talk to each other just did not signify like a it didn't sound like 17-year-olds talking. It was very flowery and poetic and sweet, and it sounded like 60-year-olds were talking to each other, not 17. So anyway, like I said, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite. 3 stars. I'm just over the whole horribly sad note. This story did not end in a happily ever after as far as I'm concerned. And I really was upset with the ending. Like the very last ending, like it goes 10 years into the future and where they reconnect in a way, but it doesn't give the reason why they're connecting only 10 years in the future, because he would have been like 27 and there's no reason. Anyway, that ending just did not make any sense to me whatsoever. It was not well explained. I was super upset with that. So if I'm being honest, this probably was a 2-star book for me. I'm giving it 3 stars, but it probably could have been even a 2-star book for me. Okay, so anyway, that was that. I decided to rearrange my entire bookshelves, and I did it in order from author's last name from A to Z. And that took me like 4 hours to complete. And so while I was doing that, I ended up listening to the full audiobook of Heidi's Guide to 4-Letter Words by Tara Sevick and Andy Arndt. I believe this is just an audiobook. It is the Audible Escape package. And it was hilarious. Oh my gosh. I gave it 4 stars. I was literally laughing out loud so many times that even my mom was like, what are you cackling about? Like, because I was dying laughing out loud. It's about a prude who gets this new job working at an audio company where they do a lot of recordings for books, specifically romance books. She is grew up in the South, Christian. Her parents, they never talked about sex. Like that was just something you just didn't do. And so she walks in and it's a guy and he's like right in the middle of this super sexy, steamy scene, and she freaks out. And it's her love life with her neighbor and wanting to get with him. So she starts this podcast and it's called Heidi's Discount Erotica, and it's hilarious. There was parts that I was just like, really? I mean, you're a grown woman, come on. But for the most part, it was so funny, and there were so many moments that I literally was laughing out loud so much that I had to give this 4 stars. It was really good. So anyway, that is what I'm reading now. I have decided to start reading the Bromance Book Club. I've really wanted to get to this one, and so I'm just gonna dive into it. And so anyway, this is the end of this vlog. This is the end of this vlog, and I am going to go ahead and get off here, finish work, and then I'm gonna start reading the Bromance Book Club. So I will talk to you guys next week.